Hello, Tube. I hope I'm recording. I can't actually see anything because I got a wall of props here. We got the Confessions of a Book Collector tag, originally done by Mike over at Bibliophile Bookscape. And the subtitle of this is The Honest Things Every Book Collector Knows But Doesn't Always Admit. These aren't necessarily questions, more as like statements. And I guess we'll just kind of go through and see if if any of these apply to me. So we got question number 1. I own more books than I can realistically read. And I'd say no. I'd say that's a false. Definitely have a lot of like all this stuff is stuff I haven't read. I got a TBR cart. I got a couple shelves over here. But I'd say, like, realistically, if I didn't buy another single book, I could probably get through it all in 5 years or so. So, yeah, I mean, no, unless I'm going to die relatively soon, that would be false. Number 2, I've bought books just because they were beautiful, and I would say this does apply to me. Not very often. I'm pretty particular, but I have a couple here that I can kind of use as a prop. I consider these beautiful. You know, they're not like broken binding fantasy books or something, but these are definitely books that I love, that I wanted nice copies of just to have. We have Steppenwolf here by Herman Hesse, one of my favorites. I need to reread this, maybe before the end of the year. I got some ideas brewing in my head. This is I actually spent real money on this. I don't remember how much, but it wasn't cheap. At least it wasn't cheap for my budget. This is the limited editions club, Westport, Connecticut, and it has illustrations with woodcuts by Helmut Ackerman. So it's got like these like big old woodcut illustrations, and this is such an odd book, but I absolutely love it. I'm not gonna get into the details because, like I said, it's been a hot mess. I've read it, and I don't want to make myself look too stupid. But just know, if you're wanting like a classic German like book that'll mess with your head, Steppenwolf, Herman Hesse, anything Herman. I have not read anything. Even Herman Hesse's, what is it? Herman Hesse is like pizza. Even bad pizza is still pretty good. Even bad Herman Hesse is pretty good. So then we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Eric Maria Remarque. This is a Heritage Press. I spent $15 on this one. Well, tell me. Introduction, Harry Hansen, illustrations by John Groth. So, it's got such a great book. If you've never read All Quiet on the Western Front, that Netflix adaptation does not do it justice. This is way. And I'm not one of those people that's like automatically says the book's better than the movie or whatever, but in this case, the book is miles above better than the movie. Let's see, number 3. Finding a great book is sometimes more exciting than reading it. I mean, technically, yes, I would say. There's definitely been times where I've been looking for a certain edition of a book, and then because that's just how I wanted to read it, or I think that edition is the coolest looking, and I get it and I read it and the book sucks or whatever. In that case, yes. But I would like to say that I go into every book wanting it to be my next favorite book. That's, I think the goal of a reader is just to find absolute favorites, because, we don't really want to read okay or worse books, right? We are always hoping that, if we're going to sit down with a book for 20 hours, that it, blows our socks off. So, number 4, I've bought duplicates by accident or because I like different editions. Well, we're not even going to cover All Quiet on the Western Front for this one. But here's an example. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is one of my favoriteest things ever. I read it quite often. I reread it quite often. I have the Norton Critical Edition on my desk at work at all times in case I want to pick it up and flip through it. Got the Oxford edition, also fantastic. If you want an edition to read, it's a slim little thing. It's got some introduction. I think it does have some. It's got some notes and things. We have the Eknath Swaran edition, another fantastic edition. If you're new to it, got the Gandhi one. You can skip the Gandhi one. He kind of takes some liberties with some things that I don't necessarily agree with. Then for ones that I haven't read, we have the Nicholas Sutton translation with a study guide. I need to read that. Kind of stuck on the Ramayana right now, so Bhagavad Gita is kind of taking that back seat. I don't even remember getting this. This is the Swami Sivananda edition. This one has the original Sanskrit with translation and commentary. We have the as it is version. This is the ISKCON version. It's also got it's got the Sanskrit translation purport, otherwise known as commentary. This one I have read this translation, but I haven't read this edition. This is a really weird one that's fallen apart, so I'll probably never read it. But this is the Sir Edwin Arnold translation, which is not a good translation to start with unless you like to punish yourself. But what's odd about this is it's got like a bunch of like weird like Christian, I guess, artwork in it. It's just so weird. I hope one day to find an edition of this that isn't falling apart. Here you go. Let's get demonetized here. Here's a woman holding her boobie. I don't know. Like it's so weird. Such a weird edition. But yeah. Number 5. I sometimes rearrange my bookshelf for fun. That's completely false. I have a system. My stuff that I've read that I've wanted to keep has some sameness to it. I got like different, like I have my religion philosophy, I have my like biography / memoirs, I have my letters, I have my poetry, I have my fiction. I don't really have any nonfiction that wouldn't fall to philosophy, religion, or biography, memoir. All this stuff, this is all TBR stuff. No rhyme or reason besides my mass markets are largely up there and other stuff down here. And then I have my TBR religion / philosophy. I have my Srimad Bhagavatam collection, or I got the ISKCON Srimad Bhagavatam down there, and I never remember the dude's name. The other big collection that ISKCON offers. Not an ISKCON guy. I think I mentioned that, but a lot of, they do produce a lot of like stuff that isn't available anywhere else for a really good price. Like you can get the entire Srimad Bhagavatam for, I think it's less than $100, and it's, I don't know, 15 hardcover copies. Just maybe it's more than $100. I don't know. I think they run a really, really good sale every year. I think that's what I was trying to figure out what kind of bug that was, but just a fly. Then I have my manga and stuff back there, which is a mixture of read and unread. But like I have set places for things to go, and I just stick to it. I don't have a lot of room to mess around. So, number 6, there are books I'll probably never read, but I'll never get rid of them. Besides like the Siddhartha and the All Quiet on the Western Front, yes. Here's 2 more All Quiet on the Western Fronts. One's a first English edition with like 4th printing, and the other one's like 7th printing or something. Of course, they don't have the dust jacket, and they would probably fall apart if I actually read them. I actually found there's a um, Thrasher's flea market every Memorial Day and Labor Day in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. And I got both of these at that flea market, I think at the same booth, like a couple years apart. So that's kind of crazy. I think they were only like a buck or two. Like they were dirt cheap. And then I have another, I should have brought it down. I have a first edition Ernest Hemingway Old Man and the Sea, which is really cool. I got that at the library book sale of all places. At one point, I thought I would take it in and actually sell it for what it's worth, then donate the money to the library. But then I just kind of became part of my collection, even though I'm not really a collector. Like it's one of my favorite books, and it's not hurting anything. And if I ever do decide to sell it, I will I will donate the money to the library. Like I wouldn't just pocket it. Um, it's not like it's worth thousands of dollars. It's probably worth $100, but still, it's that's 3-4 books that the library could get. That's good money. Number 7, I've bought books simply because they were a bargain. And besides those, not really. Like I have limited space, so if I buy something, I have to be pretty certain that I want to read it. So yeah, this one wouldn't really apply to me. I mean, there's definitely things on my shelf that I've bought, like I have a bunch of the Wheel of Time books. I'm never gonna get to the Wheel of Time. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. It's not. Those will get on hold here eventually. Probably when I get to that section for my bookshelf tour, I'll probably pull those out. But everything that comes in here, I have the intentions of wanting to read it, and the price. Of course, I do have a budget. I don't have an infinite amount of money I can spend towards books, especially now with the way everything is in this crazy world. Um, but I don't know. Yeah. Number 8, I like the idea of having certain books even if I don't plan to read them soon. Um, I, I, I guess true, because I mean I got 500 unread books on my shelf, so I think it's always good to have. I don't know, because I live in a rural area. Of course, I do have my Kindle, so I could get any ebook at any instant. But when it comes to, I do a lot of shopping through like thrift books and stuff, or eBay even, because it's just cheaper that way. Thrift books is cheap. You always run the risk of getting something crappy that's falling apart and blah, blah, blah. Haven't really had a lot of that, be an issue. But it's kind of nice having quite a few books on the shelf, because if you want to go find something to read, you just go over to your shelf and pick up something. I have such a variety too that I can find something of some sort of flavor that I want. um, then ending question: what's one confession you have as a book collector? What's something you do that you think other collectors would understand? I tried thinking about this before I started. I was hoping something could pop in my head. Um, mm, mm, I definitely think, I don't know if that's really a collector question, but more like a reader question. But I do think that the format of the book can largely dictate the enjoyability too, because like Lonesome Dove, I read Lonesome Dove earlier this year. I read it on the Kindle. I I think reading the hardcover, because that's what I had. Is I had the hardcover and I had the Kindle version. I went with the Kindle version because I really think that having that big book, having to mess with that for 30 hours or whatever long it took to read it, would have been miserable. So I'll go with that. I don't know if that's Really, confession of a book collector. And then what's something you think other collectors would understand? I mean, I guess that kind of that's like kind of one whole thing. I don't know what else to say for that. Let's put it that way. Like I said, I don't know if I really. I hope that I'm not a collector and that I'm a reader. Let's put it this way. I hope that none of these questions pertain to me. Well, except for the multiple, multiple editions, because that does apply to me, and I do that consciously. For the most part. Besides, I don't need those two. No. I don't know. Anyway, tag people, tag your. If you've not done this one and you want to do this one, go do it. You probably do a much better job than I did. And I gotta put all this stuff back. That's the only bad thing about doing tag videos, when you have props, is you gotta put the stuff back. Cheers, peeps.